soldier of fortune. Gotta walk through a fire for what's important. The warrior's blood through your veins is coursing. Kill for hire, soldier of fortune. The whole world's watching every move. Take your shot, don't act a fool. All you got and all you ever need is one bullet in the chamber. Really needs to take your aim, but ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? Ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? Do or die, you're a mercenary. One of a kind that you're burdened to carry. Go and make them proud, do what's necessary. Oh no, do or die, you're a mercenary. Now the whole world's watching every move. Take your shot, don't act a fool. All you gotta take your aim, boy. Ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? One bullet in the chamber. Breathe easy, take your aim, boy. Ain't nobody gonna save you. So what you gonna do? Now the whole world's watching every move. Still your heart so much to prove.
If it's Thursday, it's time for Mystic Racing League. Welcome, everybody. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined in the booth by Chris Smith. Tonight, we're bringing you live racing action for race number 8 of the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. Nestled in the scenic mountains of Northeast Tennessee, Bristol Motor Speedway, affectionately known as the last great coliseum, has been a cornerstone of motorsports since it opened back in 1961. The brainchild of local entrepreneurs Larry Carrier, Carl Moore, and R.G. Pope, the track was inspired by a visit to the newly then constructed Charlotte Motor Speedway. Initially measuring a perfect half mile with 22-degree banking in the corners, Bristol's undergone several transformations to enhance the racing experience. One of those most significant changes came back in 1992 when the track transitioned from an asphalt to a concrete surface, a rarity among NASCAR tracks aiming to enhance durability and racing conditions. This change solidified Bristol's reputation for high-intensity racing. Then in 1978, Bristol introduced night racing, adding a new dimension. The steep banking ranging from 24 to 28 degrees in the corners combined with the nighttime setting creates a coliseum-like atmosphere that is both thrilling and intimidating at the same time for drivers as well as spectators. Over the years, Bristol's been the backdrop for numerous unforgettable moments. One such instance was back in 1995 when Texas' Terry Labonte clinched victory despite a fierce challenge from Dale Earnhardt. This race popularized the term the Chrome Horn, as Earnhardt's aggressive tactics led to a dramatic and unforgettable conclusion that left fans on the edge of their seats. Beyond the track, Bristol area offers a rich tapestry of attractions. Fans can explore the birthplace of country music, museum, celebrating the region's musical heritage, or venture into the natural beauty of the Appalachian Mountains. The vibrant downtown district features unique shops, local eateries, and the iconic Bristol sign straddling that Tennessee-Virginia state line. Chris, Bristol is known as the last great coliseum, and tonight these drivers will have to channel their inner gladiators for 180 grueling laps if they want to fight their way to victory lane. With over 30 competitors battling in such tight quarters tonight, what will it take to outlast the chaos and conquer this legendary short track?
Well, this is Bristol Motor Speedway, so it's all about staying out of trouble, making sure that you're around at the end of these 180 laps tonight. 95 laps on a tank of fuel, but fuel should not be an issue at all tonight, especially with the stage breaks that we have at lap 50 and lap 110. 180 laps, like we mentioned before, 22 cars. 22 cars can fill this place up very, very quickly, so it's definitely going to be an action-packed race all night long.
We've got a lot of action to cover. We're going to set the race up with some stories, but before that, it's time for everyone's pre-race favorite tradition, the playing of the national anthem. Folks, rise and remove your caps if able. We'll be right back on the other end of the anthem. Back here from the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway, qualifying underway, about to wrap up. But before the race gets going, we got to set it up with some pre-race stories. But before we do that, let's take a look at the points, Chris, because they have been heating up in recent weeks. Sure, we still have a lot of races left before the final 10 races, before the playoffs start, but the point picture is really emerging right now. You can see Evan Janik at the top of those points. He's been probably the strongest driver as of recent, but Christian Barnes has kind of come out of nowhere in that 27 with a good bit of pace and consistency, and then the picture of consistency all season. Adam Holston, with that win last week in Las Vegas, has kind of walked his way into the regular season championship favorite, with Bobby Rafferty missing the last couple of races. And you see just what a tight battle it is throughout the top 15 in points. Now, final minute before we get going, Chris, big stories to keep an eye on. The biggest one tonight, probably the dash for cash. Last week, we had 4 drivers, Adam Holston, Caleb Hunt, Cochran, as well as Evan Janik. Those 4 drivers are going to be competing tonight head-to-head. Top driver at the end of the night with highest finishing position is going to get $20 in cash. So there's extra incentive for a lot of these drivers tonight, Chris. Does that change your mentality if you're in that car?
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's another incentive to go out here and win. Now, these drivers have plenty of incentive anyway with the points being on the line, so I don't think that you'll see too much different from them, but it's always great to have a little bit of extra cash possibly floating out there.
I think you are absolutely right. And hey, let's save a little bit of time here. I want to talk about these 3 other stories while we ride along and talk to the winner before last week at COTA, Evan Janik, the points leader right now. Let's see if we can put in here. Evan Janik, this is Ellis and Chris in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy?
Yep, gotcha.
All right, man, so we're getting ready to begin the pace laps. 180 laps tonight. You're going to be in traffic probably a good bit, if I had to guess. How do you manage that in that 71 car? What's going through your head if you're leading the racer up front and you're working on lap cars?
Yeah, I really don't know. I'd say be patient, but the guys behind me aren't going to be patient. So, run where they're not. I worked a lot of practice in running both lines so I could run everywhere on this track. So, just being smart, and get lucky.
Luck is probably going to be a key. As a guy who's pretty fast around here, starting, I believe, in the 3rd position tonight, how important is rhythm for you and the rest of the drivers out here at a track this short?
It's very important. I don't know how long you can stay in that rhythm because of the traffic, like you said, but just listening to your car, hitting your marks, not overdriving it, because you can really hurt your tires here. So, yeah, you have to be definitely in tune with yourself and stay in that rhythm. Otherwise, you're going to be suffering on the long run.
Man, think you got a shot at the win tonight in that 71?
I always think I have a shot to win, but the cards have to fall right, especially at a place like this. So we'll see. I know me and my team will put ourselves in the best positions we can, and we'll see where the cards fall.
All right, man. Well, good luck out there. We'll be looking to see you up front much of the evening.
All right, look forward to it.
Evan Janik, have a great run. All right, Chris, so we heard from Evan Janik there, and that kind of brings us to the starting lineup tonight. Looking through the field, we've been running a little bit of it on the left part of the screen. Cody Giles, Chris, starting on the pole tonight in that 48. That's a car we haven't really seen all season long, but he was fast in practice, and he backed it up in qualifying. If you're Christian Barnes, Evan Janik, what are you thinking about when you're racing next to a driver at a short track like this that you haven't raced with all season?
Well, you know, there might be these guys might have raced with him before, so it's just hard to say. But whenever you do experience a new driver out there, there's a little bit of trepidation, like how close can I run with them? You know, what are their tendencies? Are they a little bit more aggressive? Are they going to, be a long run driver or short run driver? So they'll be filling them out here probably for the first few laps.
First driver going to be feeling them out, starting second, the 27, Christian Barnes. String of great finishes in the past several weeks, including a top 5 last week. Third, Evan Janik, we just heard from him. Adam Holston, last week's big winner at Las Vegas, starting on the outside of row 2 in 4th. Alex Pollock in that 92, strong qualifying run, seeing if he could get his first top 5 of the season. Caleb Hunt, really great run. He's also a dash for cash driver, Chris. Janik, Holston, and Hunt all starting in the top 6 searching for that $20 prize. David Moyer starting in 7th in that 47. Brandon Berardi, a kind of another name we haven't heard a lot this season, starting 8th, along with 9th in the 09, Jackson Hatala. We haven't heard from him either, so lots of new drivers out there in the field tonight. That's going to be a story we're following all night long. Derek Jewett, we've seen him have a lot of speed. Top 10 qualifying run for the number 45 tonight. Jewett running that Chicago paint scheme. Interesting choice tonight in Tennessee, but he's gonna make it look good out there in that number 45. Brandon Willard starting 11th in that number 12 car, followed by Gavin Henson to his outside in 12th. Robert McKay last week had a tough week. Can he bounce back tonight? Starting 13th. Brett Wren, we're going to see his heart rate climb through the evening. He's going to have to come from 14th if he's going to find his way to victory lane. Zach White in the 77 will be starting on the inside of row 8 with Stephen Gill in that 01 to his outside. Douglas Wasaki starting 17th with Jacob Cochran in 18th. Then you've got Ronnie Foster in 19th, Malcolm Capo in 22nd, Aiden Tebow, who's had some speed last week, starting in 23rd, and Reggie Kime. Also, we've seen him have some speed. We are green flag racing here at Bristol under green flag conditions for the first time tonight. It's going to be Giles in that 48 who leads him away. Janik in second place right behind him, gets the shot on Christian Barnes, slides in on the inside now to second place. Christian Barnes falls back to third with Holston and Hunt kind of getting back into the picture, gathering it up a little bit. Some distance early on. Cody Giles pulling away from second place, who's under fire now from Christian Barnes. Janik's got company from the driver he got by just a lap ago. Barnes a little bit loose off that corner as they head down into the next one.
Yeah, he is a little bit loose right here. We see right here Evan Janik utilizing that top lane. You can see the momentum that he can get on corner exit. It's like Christian Barnes going to fall in line along with Adam Holston all up there on that top lane.
Yeah, one car off the pace just early on. Joshua Gillen might have had a late start on the inside there, but you mentioned it, Chris. Drivers trying to get settled in here. Christian Barnes and Evan Janik kind of fighting back and forth. Janik to the outside, almost closes the door. A little bit late on Christian Barnes. Barnes thinks better of it. He lifts the throttle just a little bit. So does Janik. They both live to fight another day. Down the backstretch, side by side. Janik climbs the banking down into turn number 3 and 4. Barnes loose off the front straightaway into the wall. That's third place. We might be under caution, and we are under caution for the first time tonight. That was second place in points and third place in the race, Chris. Just got loose off the corner here on lap 6 of 180.
Yeah, it did right there, and that's something that we'll probably see often tonight. This place right here is very treacherous, especially on corner exit. Here's Christian Barnes to the inside of Evan Janik. We went back a little bit further right here. So he's working the bottom lane right here, trying to complete the pass on Janik. You see that thing just break loose right there on corner exit, and he pounds that inside retaining wall.
Going to be a lot of damage. There is no quick repair tonight in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series, Chris. First caution of the evening. I'm sure Christian Barnes is going to want that one back, but it is going to maybe end his evening, or at least put him several laps down. It's going to put us under caution for the first time tonight. Chris, first 8 laps or so, anything you noticed about what was going on up at the front that you're curious to follow the rest of the race?
Yeah, the different lines. We saw the 48 there, Cody Giles right there, and we riding on board with Christian Barnes as he got loose right there off the corner. Saw him, deciding to sort of roll the bottom lane. I'm going to be curious to see what this does over the course of the race. If maybe there's something to running the bottom, maybe on the long run, or are we going to get enough long runs for that to even matter? Maybe you just want to run where your car is going to be the fastest. That's going to be, I think, the most important story all night is the top lane versus the bottom lane.
Don't put those short runs into the air, as the kids say. Don't put that out there into the ether. We're looking for some good long green flag runs tonight. Lights still on the pace car. Folks, if you haven't been here before for Slingshot Racing, we appreciate you tuning in. What's up, Connor? Appreciate Time Changer for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed and you like watching live iRacing action and great racing series, hit that subscribe button. Also, give this video a like right now. It helps push us out to more fans and get more folks watching and in the chat. We're going to do some trivia later on, Chris. We're giving away a Josh Berry diecast. Hey, who won the most recent NASCAR Cup Series race back at Vegas a week ago?
I think it was Josh Berry in that number 21 Wood Brothers Ford.
And also, guess what state Josh Berry is from?
He's from Tennessee.
Yeah, so double whammy tonight for the symbolism in our diecast giveaway. It's a Tire Pros Xfinity Series car for Josh Berry. Right now, pace car getting these things back gridded up side by side, getting ready for the restart. They've taken the choose, and Cody Giles chose the inside. Evan Janik went to the outside, about a half a lap away. Chris, if you're the crew chief, how important is it to calm your driver down right now and just tell him to pull those belts tight and just kind of settle in for a long heat?
Super important, because we saw they really got strung out right there on the initial start. Some drivers really taking it easy right here. I wonder if we'll see the same thing on this restart.
Hey, pace car is not taking it easy. He makes that hard left turn. We're green flag racing again at Bristol. Lap number 10. It's Giles to the inside. Janik way up to the top as he climbs the banking. He's got Caleb Hunt underneath him right now in that 78. Hunt right behind Janik to the outside. Several cars, top 6 settle in. That first car back there, I believe on the outside, might have been the 92 of Alex College. He's been riding the high line for the past couple of laps. Everyone kind of finding their way early on in the running here at Bristol. Cars climbing the track, cars riding the bottom of the banking down by that yellow line. Chris, I'm watching Evan Janik in that second position, watching him try to climb a little bit closer to the 48 of Giles. You seeing any speed out of that high line right now? What's the benefit off the corner?
I definitely am seeing the speed out of that. You can just roll a little bit quicker. You don't have to use as much brake up there. You can definitely increase your straightaway speed. You can see how he really closes up on the back of that 48, especially at the end of the straightaways. But with that, more throttle. Oh, as I think the 78 right there. Oh, we got a car around. David
Moyer, the 47, sideways. No. One car T-bones him. That's the 12 of Brandon Willard. Could not get out of the way in time, and that is a big crash, Chris. It's one of the stories we kind of wanted to talk about in pre-race, the big one. This is a narrow track. When you get a car sideways, things can happen fast, and you saw Brandon Willard fall victim to that here as we watch the replay.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to pause it right here so that we can go and find David Moore. And David is actually already around at this point, so I'm going to go backwards a little bit. And it's kind of like what we saw with Christian Barnes, just loose off the corner right here. And yeah, it just goes around with him. He tags the inside wall, ricochets back in front of traffic, and Brandon Willard hits him hard. And you might be wondering, why didn't Brandon slow down? Well, Ellis, things happen so fast here at Bristol. This is a half-mile track, and they're going around here in 15 seconds. It is hard to get this thing slowed down, and so we're going to ride on board right here with Brandon Willard. And it's hard to see.
Boy.
It's
we
so
need
hard
a
to
warning
see.
before we watch this. Jeez. Ouch.
Yes, that hurts. And you hear the engine explode, so his night's probably over.
Yeah, I think the night is definitely over. Someone needs to call the infield care center and check on Brandon there after that tough crash. Right now, Cody Giles is still your leader. He's led from the very first lap. Evan Janik is second. See them pacing around right now. I doubt we're going to have any takers on pit road here, lap 17 already. Chris, I think we might have some opportunities right now. Can we pull up some trivia and go for some trivia for folks watching in the chat right now? Folks, we're going to pull it up on the screen. All you got to do is be the first of 2 to put the correct answer into the YouTube chat. Put the correct answer, type the full answer if you don't mind. Our first question tonight is this. In which 2 states does Bristol straddle the border? Is it Tennessee and Virginia, Tennessee and North Carolina, Virginia and Kentucky, or North Carolina and Georgia? Which one of those 2 states does Bristol straddle the border of? Which combination? We mentioned it in the pre-race intro. We'll see who was listening or who just knows their geography. We'll leave that up on the screen for a couple laps here for you as we get ready to come back and grid these things up. Drivers taking the choice right now. It's going to be Evan Janik to the outside. The leader, Giles, still sticking with the one that brung him to the inside. There, we got a couple answers in the chat right now. Connor's got one in. Joshua's got one in. Tasik, we got one in. Welcome, Tasik. Glad to have you in the chat tonight. Let us know what driver you're rooting for, too. A couple answers already in the chat. Go ahead and get yours in. About half a lap away from the restart. We'll lead this up for another couple of laps for you to get your answers in. Free Josh Berry diecast giveaway for the chatter with the most points at the end of the night. All right, Chris. They're pulling them belt tight one more time. 2 cautions tonight now, lap 19 coming to 20. Giles gets the jump on Janik. Caleb Hunt there on the inside of Adam Holston, last week's winner at Vegas. Giles getting away pretty quickly. You've seen that be the theme of tonight. A couple cars colliding with the outside wall, but everyone gathers it back up. Janik slides a nose across Holston there, closes the door. Janik secures the third place right now. Single file all the way through 8th position or so. Back all the way, I'm looking at 11th position. Zach White and Malcolm Capo have a nice little battle going on here. It's the 7 of Malcolm Capo and the 77 of Zach White on the inside there. Great little battle. We're going to see who has the advantage here and how advantageous that outside line is. It looks like the 7 of Malcolm Capo is able to carry a little bit more speed off the corner than White has been the past couple laps.
Yeah, we see some contact in the wall right up in front of him. That's Brett Wren. He tagged the wall right there coming off of turn 2, but no harm, no foul. Going to be a lot of that with these drivers utilizing that top lane tonight.
Yeah, and that heart rate on the top right-hand screen was climbing just a little bit for Brett in that number 24 car. No harm, no foul, though. Giles still your leader, but it's closed up just a little bit. Evan Janik is there, Chris. Battle for the lead underway as we ride on board with the leader. That 71 is big, and he comes across his nose to the inside. Janik takes the inside for the first time tonight. Can he make Giles uncomfortable?
Oh,
he
Giles
does.
is
Giles
loose.
sideways off the top. His first time there tonight, and it proves dangerous as the 48, your leader for the first 25 laps of the race, gets into the wall once again. Very uncomfortable up top, Chris. And watching him in practice, we saw him on the inside a lot. And we guessed it. First time Evan Janik put him up there, it made him uncomfortable. What kind of strategy move was that by Janik?
Well, it definitely put him in an uncomfortable position as we do have a caution on the track. I don't know. I think it might have been. Brandon Willard almost made some contact there with the leaders. I'm not sure if he was involved. We're going to go back and see. I did hear one car spinning. It looks like it was Brandon Willard. He gets loose right there, entering the corner. I think that Brandon took a fast repair here, Ellis, and was able to get back here on the track after that, what we thought to be terminal damage.
Yeah, I did not realize we had a fast repair, but apparently we do tonight. So drivers who are in trouble early, they'll be okay as long as they don't have more trouble over the course of the evening. And hey, that trivia question, as we do a couple more pace laps around the answer, the correct answer to the trivia question was, in which 2 states does Bristol straddle the border, Chris? It's Tennessee and Virginia. Tennessee and Virginia, and the 2 answers that were correct were Joshua Gillen and Tasic. Gillen and Tasic got the points on that. We'll update the leaderboard as we roll our way around here. And it might be a good opportunity here from our partners over at Whiplash Simcams before we get ready to come back and get more green flag racing under our belts. Back here at the virtual Bristol Motor Speedway, 30 laps of 180 in the book. It's been a tough night for some drivers. Bristol brings out the best in us and it brings out the worst in us. We haven't seen any tempers flare, but it's been a difficult track. Drivers have been loose. We've seen a couple drivers fall victim to loose race cars. And just a moment ago, Cody Giles, who was the pole sitter and led much of the evening, had his own set of troubles that pushed him back into third after getting loose on the front stretch. But he's since recovered. Evan Janik is your leader. Cody Giles is in third. I think actually in second. He took the inside on that waiver on Adam Holston. Last week's winner at Vegas is sitting in the third position. Chose the outside that time. It's going to bring Jackson Hatala, who started in the fourth position in the ninth position up to fourth. So that 09 is on the move, a new name in that 09. We haven't seen Jackson race all season. We'll see what he's made of tonight here, making his debut at the toughest track, one of the toughest tracks on the circuit. Pace car is going to pull off, and it's going to be on Janik, that outside car. He mashes that throttle. Giles gets a hell of a restart, though, on the inside. We're back underway racing. Giles now on the inside where he's been comfortable all night. Janik similarly on the outside. Holston with a big old run, but you mentioned it, Chris. Giles got loose.
Yeah, and Ellis, I think Giles has a black flag. I think maybe he hit the throttle before the leader, Evan Janik, did, so that's a very costly mistake if he has to come to pit road.
Absolutely. Well, I am seeing you're correct. Black flag on the number 48. That was a quick one. They heard that throttle go before Janik, and that's the difficulty with kind of coming into a race like this. A new racer to this series, still learning some of the rules, and we'll see when he makes that difficult journey down pit road. Probably making his case with the officials right now, but that hasn't stopped Janik and Holston from wrapping around the track on the high line right in front of him. It's Janik, Holston, Giles. Now Hatala trying to get by Giles here on the outside in that 09 with Caleb Hunt not too far behind. Update on the dash for cash. Janik, Holston, Hunt all in it right now. It's Evan Janik who's taking home that $20 if we were to finish right now on lap 36 of 180. Top 6 or so, single file, looking through the rest of the field to see where we might have some action going on. And yeah, the 7 right now, Malcolm Capo back in 12th. He's got Zach White to his inside. Actually, that's the lap down car, I shouldn't say. The Stephen Gill, I should say, in the 01 has been doing battle with Zach Capo here. Gill, we've seen him, I believe, was he at Vegas last week? It was his first race of the season, so this is race number 2 for Gill. Yellow flag is out. That might have been Stephen Gill, Chris. Oh, man.
It is Stephen Gill.
Commentator's curse.
Yeah, and it looks like maybe the black flag for Cody Giles was cleared, so it's a really difficult position restarting second here, not being able to see the leader. So maybe race control had a little bit of mercy on him on this deal. Let's go back and see what happened to Stephen Gill right here off of turn number 4. Man, we've seen this often tonight, Ellis. Just loose off the corner. Yeah, it just looks super edgy out there for these cars on corner. Oh, as Brandon Willard. Oh my gosh, Brandon Willard found another one crashed. Tough luck tonight for the driver of the 12.
That is. They're popping out right in front of them, and you mentioned it, Chris. It's difficult to really see what lies ahead here at Bristol. And same story, second verse for Brandon Willard, so he ride on board with another difficult moment. And boy, right into the back, and it just happens so fast. We've been mentioning that. We're talking about how fast these races go by. Already 40 laps in the books of 180. I'm wondering if we might see drivers pit for the first time tonight. Obviously, we've seen some drivers who have been in trouble pit, but I'm not seeing any indication that that is going to be the time here as drivers work their way around and work this 4th caution of the evening. Hey, in the chat, let us know who you are rooting for. We got Connor in here. West Georgia TV says, evening, fellas. We're glad you're joining us as well. Look, Chris Hone is in the chat. He says, to quote Jacob Bradley, it's Bristol, baby. Chris, shout out to you.
I'm sorry,
glad
Chris.
You are doing well.
Sorry, Chris. We're not running micro sprints around Bristol. Sorry to disappoint you.
What? A man can dream, though, right? A man can dream. Chris Hone, a micro sprint racer in real life, enjoying some racing tonight here on Slingshot TV with Mystic Racing League and the Fall Creek Plumbing NASCAR National Series. Evan Janik currently scored as your leader, working the 4th caution of tonight. I'm Ellis Thomas, joined by Chris Smith in the booth. I'm really curious to see, Chris, we haven't had any long green flag runs. I'm curious to know, and I don't think we'll actually know, but we'll probably see some indications how Evan Janik's tires are holding up on that outside line. He's been really working a blistering pace up top much of the evening, and that could potentially come at a cost. So that's going to be something we're looking at pretty intensely as this run kind of progresses. Right now, Janik chose the outside as the leader. Cody Giles is going to start second. Maybe, hopefully takes it a little bit more cautious on this green flag, hitting that throttle after the leader Evan Janik does. It's not as easy as it might sound, though. It is a difficult task to get a good restart while not jumping it. Evan Janik's going to be the control car as the pace car peels off here. Janik in that black and red number 71. He goes. Giles lifts just a little bit to ensure no black flag this time. Janik to the outside. Giles in that blue and silver number 48, working that inside with a head of steam. He careens down the back straightaway to turns 3 and 4. The 48 is scored as your new leader. Can he close the door on the 71? Not this time by. That 8, last week's Vegas winner, Adam Holston, not far behind, trying to make a go of it for second place, right behind Evan Janik, not letting those 2 leaders get away. While all that is happening, looks like Brandon Berardi and Jackson Hatala, the 09 and 05, have a good little battle going on back there as well. All over the track. Great racing going on as Hatala continues to impress in his debut. Right now, it's all about the leader, Janik and Giles, and Adam Holston not too far behind. Holston, Chris, might have grabbed the wall out of turn number 2 there.
Yeah, and he was really trying very hard to follow Evan Janik around the 48 of Cody Giles right there because stage points are on the line as we approach the end of the first stage.
Yeah, stage points on the line at lap 50, just about 3.5 laps until we hit that point, and those do count towards the championship as well as in the playoffs. Hatala in the wall back there in 4th place, dips it back to 7th or 8th as he makes contact with that outside retaining wall. Janik trying to work that outside like he has been all evening long, but Cody Giles working back on the inside. That 48's found a little bit of life here in the last couple of laps. They've managed to pull away by about 3.5 car lengths on Adam Holston. Meanwhile, Brandon Berardi in the 05 not far behind, about 10 car lengths back to 4th place. There's a battle brewing for 5th place, Chris. Final stage point available, 5th and 6th. Caleb Hunt and Alex Pollock back and forth. They're going to be coming here too, I believe. That's it. I believe Alex Pollock got the point there at the last minute on the inside ahead of Caleb Hunt. We'll have to check timing and scoring to confirm that. But Janik's going to be your winner of that stage. Cody Giles 2nd, Adam Holston 3rd, Brandon Berardi 4th, and we believe Alex Pollock might have gotten that final stage point. We're going to sort it out here in just a minute. But we're going to have some, I believe, green flag pit stops coming up here
some momentarily.
Caution flag pit stops, sorry. Great, yeah, stage break. Caution flag pit stops at that. If you're watching in the chat, folks, we appreciate you tuning in tonight. Thank you for spending some of your time with us this evening. Let us know who you're rooting for. What driver are you here to support? Or is this your first time here? You pick a driver that you might want to see win this race tonight based on name, number, paint scheme, whatever. Let us know who you are rooting for. Don't forget, we got 3 more trivia questions coming up for a free Josh Berry diecast. Leaders work their way around pit road. Janik's going to bring them down first. We're going to see, I'm imagining all drivers, Chris, going to take 4 tires here as Janik works his way around this double pit road, which can make it a little bit interesting under caution. Very long journey these guys are making.
It is, and I think that we maybe have 1 car pitting on the back stretch and all the other cars are pitting on the front stretch. So yeah, we'll be keeping our eyes on this tonight right here, this very unique pit road in these yellow flag pit stops.
Very unique pit road, and Evan Janik comes to the attention of his pit crew. Cody Giles, Adam Holston not too far behind him. Pit strategy is going to be key here. Pit stop speed is going to be key. Obviously, that's out of the driver's control, pending they don't make any mistakes. But every position gained here is one you don't have to pick up on track. Janik's going to come out first. Adam Holston's going to come out second. Chris, Cody Giles with some trouble on that pit stop. Not sure what's going on for that 48, but he's going to lose several positions back to 8th after coming in second, finishing second in that stage. And I believe, based on the numbers I'm seeing, all the drivers got 4 tires there. Not sure what happened with that 48.
Yeah, I'm not either. It seems like he had a little bit of trouble right there. I did hear 1 engine turn off, so I don't know if it stalled or... I'm not sure what happened there. We didn't see the beginning of the pit stop, so maybe he slid through the stall, not sure. But it was about 5 seconds slower than the competition around him.
This is why I run auto clutch, Chris, because I can't trust myself. If that is what happened, but maybe just getting some damage repaired to that 48, making sure it's good to go for the more green flag racing in Stage 2. Stage 2 is going to go until lap 110, so we're going to go green here in about a lap or so. It's going to make it about a 55-lap stage number 2, and more points will be available at the end of that stage. And remember, those stage points count as playoff points as well. So every position in that top 5 is going to matter. Right now, Zach White is going to be your leader. He has not come down pit road, Chris. Interesting call to put that 77 out front. He's been running in the top 10 much of the evening, but no tires for that driver who has pulled that American flag paint scheme in that 77 up to the lead position. If you're someone like Evan Janik, how nervous are you for having a guy who hasn't been leading the race up right in front of you on older tires?
It is a little bit nerve-wracking because there is quite a speed difference here at Bristol on old versus new tires. We did see Aiden Tebow, who stayed out as well. He decided to come to pit road here on the one to go, so that moves the inside row right there. Adam Holston closer to the front row.
And it's going to be the 77 who is the leader. He mashes that throttle. Got to be careful. Stack up front. Spins the tires. Does Zach White into 77 in that American flag paint scheme. Everyone gets going. Does a great job of lifting off the throttle. Zach White to the inside. Holston juts out to the right. Takes a look to the outside on that high line. Reggie Kime, the leader right now for the first time. It's Kime time for that number 9, who climbs the banking in turn 1. Takes a bit of a shot from Adam Holston, who says, please, you're holding me up, sir. Holston jumps to the inside to try to get by Kime in the number 9. It's a stack up with 2 cars up front. Now Evan Janik gets back to the second position. Kime continues on that outside line. 1 car down there on the apron. Drivers just doing everything they can to get by. Berardi to the inside, 3 wide between Kime and Zach White. Chris, I don't know where to look on the track right now.
Yeah, I'm going to look right here where they're all stacked up around these drivers who are on older tires right here. As this is very dangerous right here. You got to be real patient if you're these drivers on new tires. You can't get yourself tore up right here at this stage of the race.
Now you got to be tedious. This is what we talked about to Evan Janik on the pace laps. If you're the leader, how are you handling lap traffic? And I think it's fair to count these cars much slower at older tires as traffic at this point, including Zach White. And most of these drivers have done a very good job of getting through it. Adam Holston was kind of the first driver to take advantage of it. Now Cody Giles trying to make his way by and follow Caleb Hunt through there as well, one of the Dash for Cash drivers this week. But you mentioned it as the 7 Malcolm Capo comes back up to the top and tries to get by
we got
White.
trouble.
1 car sideways. Alex Pollock, he's going to get it under control before he just slowly taps the wall there. Not sure how much damage was done to that 92, but it's going to put us under caution for the 6th time this evening. Lap 62 of 180, almost a third of the way through this race. And Alex Pollock in that number 92, 1 car slow on the front stretch, almost had a collision there as cars check up for the pace car. Dangerous moment as we watch this replay and find out what happened to that 92, Chris.
Yeah, we're going to go back right here, and his trouble started pretty early right here in 3 and 4. He's actually loose mid-corner, a little bit earlier than some of the other drivers we've seen tonight, but I did see a couple drivers slide. I think one of them is, it looks like the 45 of Derek Jewett maybe made some contact with Brett Wren in the 24, as those drivers were trying to negotiate the situation with the 92 there on the front stretch.
We mentioned just how quickly things happen and how quick you have to be to react and not cause a bigger crash here at Bristol. And we almost had it there, but drivers do expert jobs at avoiding much of that trouble. Brett Wren and Alex Pollock teammates, Chris, that was a tough caution for those guys in the 24 and the 92. Brett Wren's heart rate spiked just a little bit there.
He's
in
pretty
that
cool,
incident
dude.
on lap 62. He is. We haven't seen it get too high at this point. We'll see if that changes over the course of this race. Connor says, man, it's a lot of yellows. Connor, this is Bristol, baby. This is how it goes, my friend. Rubbin is racing. We talked about Earnhardt and that chrome horn. Bristol's a tough track. Loose on the outside, we've seen pretty much be the culprit for every incident tonight. These drivers just doing everything they can to keep these loose race cars, these loose Fall Creek Plumbing Grand National Series cars under control tonight. Lap 65 of 180. Caution worked for the 6th time tonight. Chris, might be a good opportunity to hear from our friends over at Whiplash Simcams. We'll be back on the other end of this break. You're not going to miss a minute of green flag racing. All right, coming through turns 3 and 4, getting ready for the restart. It's going to be Adam Holston, the leader on the outside. Brandon Berardi gets a slow start on the inside. He finally gets going, though. Malcolm Capo, as well as Caleb Hunt, 3rd and 4th. Top 2 get away quickly, single file. First battle is between Capo and Hunt. This is a battle for the 3rd position. Capo in that blue and white, number 7 up top. Caleb Hunt in the purple Twitch machine on the inside there. Oh, one car loose. Cody Giles loose off of the 39 of Gavin Henson in that Sundrop car. Good little battle going on there for the 5th position right now as the 48 works underneath Gavin Henson, who's had some speed this week. One car loose. That's the 7 of Capo right in front of Caleb Hunt. Another moment, Chris. We've seen this all night long. He gets loose again in the number 7. Boy, these exits are treacherous tonight.
Yeah, they really are, and a lot of it has to do with LSU's got so much wheel into it in the middle of the corner, and the corner exit comes up on you so fast that...
One car sideways, Kime, Zach White, the 47, I believe, of...
That's Moyer.
Sorry, Moyer in the 47. One car, I believe, Chris, just got loose on the inside and got clipped from behind on the front straightaway, having nowhere to go. We'll see what happened here on the replay.
Yeah, here's David Moyer. We're following right here, that number 47 machine. And yeah, it looks like Reggie Kime is actually the first one around right here. So we're going to go back and maybe get a little bit different perspective on this here. So we will replay it here, following Reggie Kime right here in that number 9 Mustang. And we'll see him right here working the middle groove, sort of coming back down right here. Evan Janik right behind him. He got loose right there. Oh, and Zach White tagged him as... he got loose off the corner. Derek Jewett, David Moyer, nowhere to go. Innocent victims. That's racing at Bristol, Ellis.
That is indeed racing at Bristol. Working lap 72 of 100, working the 7th caution this evening. We knew it was going to be tough. It's a tough track, tight confines. Things happen very quickly. And we combine that with loose race cars tonight. It has been just to say the least. But we're going to see a pit stop here from the leaders. Adam Holston coming in here, Evan Janik coming in leading the field down pit road. Several drivers staying out. Not everyone elected to pit that time by. I'm wondering, Chris, is this a strategy to try to guarantee they can make it to the stage break at 110 and not have to come in and get some more stage points?
Well, I think that they can make it to the stage no matter what here.
Would have had 15, 20 laps on their tires.
Yeah, I think that maybe this has something to do with possibly thinking about staying out at the stage and maybe gaining some track position, maybe flipping this a little bit, possibly.
Interesting strategy. One star, I believe Christian Barnes slid into his pit stall just a little bit there and had to back it up. That's going to cost him a couple seconds.
It is, and yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out. I'm really curious about the strategy here, how this works out for some of these drivers. And, you know, on the previous caution, Evan Janik and several others made their way on pit road. Also, we missed it when we were under caution, but yeah, I think they're deciding maybe to possibly give up stage points here in this stage to ensure themselves the best track position possible for that final stage.
Not a bad strategy. We're going to have to wait a little bit to see how it is going to play out, but right now, drivers getting lined up, double file again here for the restart. Holston's your leader. They're going to be coming across the backstretch here. Pace car going to be making a hard left down to the pit road here just a moment. Brandon Berardi, Chris, whale of a job, started in the 8th position tonight. He is up to 2nd place. We haven't seen that name a lot, if any, here in the Mystic Racing League Fall Creek Plumbing Grand National Series. Pace car makes that turn down. Holston up top, familiar face, but Berardi a new face on the inside. Caleb Hunt working it, trying to catch Holston. These two Dash for Cash drivers, $20 cold hard cash on the line tonight. Berardi gets off the line, maintains that inside line just a little bit better there with speed. Caleb Hunt works his way to the outside, though. Great little swath going on for 2nd place here. Berardi in that red and white machine. Caleb Hunt to the outside. That outside line seemingly has been the place to be, Chris, but that's the reward. The risk is losing it off the corners. We've seen several drivers do tonight here on lap 76.
Yeah, we see people buzz the tires on corner exit oftentimes tonight. And yeah, that is the risk that you run, Ellis, along with just overheating all the tires in general. Brandon Berardi, man, last week at Las Vegas, he was very impressive there. I think that was the first time that we've seen him this season in Mystic Racing League, and he's picking up right where he left off.
Lots of speed in that 05 right now. Your leader is Adam Holston, last week's winner of Vegas, continuing that momentous run. About 10 car lengths on the rest of the field. Holston's got some speed in that hot rod tonight. Hunt takes second. He continues to fight with Berardi. It's Gavin Henson in the 39, not too far behind with Capo and Giles in tail. Throw a piece of paper over these 5 cars right now. This is one of those areas of the track where you're looking, thinking this might be the place where we have another caution. Capo in the wall just a little bit as they ride on board there with Caleb Hunt looking out the back towards Berardi. Right up to that wall, Chris. Not an inch between him and that outside wall. Capo into the wall hard. He brings it back on the track. He collects one other car. I believe that was Hatala in the 09. Another track blocker tonight on lap 81 of 180. And that was Capo. We're having a strong run inside the top 10, but we mentioned it. Loose goes around the driver of that number 7 Red Bull machine. And yeah, Hatala, Alex Pollock might have gotten into it a little bit of bump to the back of that 09.
Yeah, right here, loose off the corner right here, running that high lane, tags the inside wall, ricochets back up into the path of Hatala. Unfortunate for him. Alex Pollock maybe a little bit of damage, but I think he kind of got away with it. Douglas Wysocki does a nice job. Looks like he was sideways through the corner as well. But yeah, that's just a Bristol track blocking crash right there. Everything happening very, very quickly.
And, you know, one question might be, why don't you hold the brakes? Even if you were to hold the brakes, you saw how fast that car was going. There's going to be some natural slide. So no matter how much you hold the brakes, it is going to continue to move on the track, and there's only so much you can do if you're the driver of that number 7. I think Alex Pollock might have had the 2 most gentle crashes on the evening, Chris, with that lazy spin off of turn 4 earlier, and then just subtly, slightly into the back of the 09 of Hatala there was Alex Pollock. Right now working the 8th caution of the evening lap, 83 of 100. I don't think we're going to see any takers on pit road this time, Chris. I think it might be a good opportunity as we approach the halfway point here to do trivia question number 2. If you didn't play trivia question number 1 for that free Josh Berry diecast, you still got 3 opportunities to get points on the board. Right now, 2 folks with points on the board, Joshua Gillen and Tassick with 1 point apiece on the board. Question number 2 tonight. Which 1927 music recording in Bristol are considered the Big Bang of country music? What are those recordings called? Are they the Bristol Sessions, the Nashville Sound, the Appalachian Recordings, or the Grand Ole Opry Sessions? Which 1927 recordings in Bristol are considered the Big Bang of country music? Are they the Bristol Sessions, the Nashville Sound, the Appalachian Recordings, or are they the Grand Ole Opry? What is the correct answer to this question? Type your best guess in the chat. Try to get a trivia point. Fan with the most trivia points at the end of the night is going to walk home with a free Tennessee native Josh Berry diecast, last week's NASCAR Cup Series winner at Las Vegas. Right now, getting ready for the restart. We'll leave that trivia question up on the screen for just a couple laps. Got Aiden Tebow in here with a guess. Hey, focus on the driving, Aiden. Good guess. I think he's actually off track right now. So you're free. I take that back. Go ahead and guess. Right now, pace car wheeling its way through turns 3 and 4. These drivers have been wheeling their way. Got a bit of a stack up further back trying to get the field in one piece. A couple cars, including the 10 of Joshua Gillen, trying to catch up to the rest of the field, but Adam Holston mashes that throttle. Hunt has to lift just a little bit. Gavin Henson on his bumper. Holston gets away cleanly. Caleb Hunt applying pressure on the inside, and that purple number 78, that is Brandon Berardi. Fast at Vegas, fast at Bristol. This week, he's on the outside rolling in that 05 red and white machine. The 48 of Giles not too far behind them. Several cars racing side by side right now. Chris, lap number 87, urgency picking up here in Bristol.
Oh, as Berardi tags the wall right there off turn 4, Ellis. Caleb Hunt was all over his back bumper, and that's going to enable Hunt to get to the inside.
Hunt to the inside, looking for second position. Holston sets sail, but it's allowed Cody Giles and then Evan Janik, points leader of the series, to come into that 4-car battle. Hell of a race going on here. Berardi into the wall one more time through the corner. They go down the back straightaway. Berardi gathers it back up, but he's got company to the inside in the form of the number 71 points leader, Evan Janik. Chris, working his way around the inside. Cody Giles still lurking back there along with Gavin Henson. Just how tough is it to Oh, one car sideways. Zach White, I believe, in the number 77. Hard contact with the inside wall on lap number 90. Boy,
Ellis,
Zach White has been on an adventure tonight.
He has, and man, I couldn't have been more wrong about the strategy right here. I thought that Evan Janik was going to give up stage points. He's not giving up any stage points at all right here as we go back and see what's going on with Zach White. Coming off of turn 4 right here, everything looks smooth for the driver of the 77 here. But down into turns 1 and 2, see that car bottom out just a little bit there, and he got loose right there off of turn 2. Tags that inside wall, and a little bit of damage to the front end. Quite a bit of damage, I should say, the front end of the 77. He's going to tow it back to the pits.
He's going to tow it back. That is going to be the end of the night for Zach White. See what I did there?
I do. I don't think that. I don't think Zach's as enthusiastic as you are, though.
Hey, I am. It is an unfortunate crash to put us under caution number 9 here on lap number 92 of 180. As we work this caution, let's get back to that trivia question. We had several guesses in the chat. It was which 1927 music recordings in Bristol are considered the big bang of country music? The correct answer to that question was indeed the Bristol Sessions. The Bristol Sessions. A couple folks in the chat guessed it right. I believe I've got Aiden Tebow as well as Ricky LaFleur as the correct guessers on that trivia question. Actually, I take that back. Connor Lyons got the point on that one. My apologies, Connor. Connor Lyons did get the point. The correct answer is D, the Bristol Sessions. You can see our leaderboard will be updated after the next question with the leaderboard there currently. That's going to be a 4-way tie up at the top for trivia, Chris. And I hopefully we don't go 4 wide tonight here at Bristol because it has been a wild one, folks. Lap number 93, working caution number 8. Adam Holston is your leader. Caleb Hunt, second. Chris, Caleb Hunt's been one of these drivers where I've seen a lot of improvement over the past 3 races this season. Started off struggling just a little bit, but consistency and consistently fast over the past several races for Caleb Hunt. We got some Caleb Hunt fans in the chat right now. Tuckman VR, thanks for joining us, man. If you haven't subscribed, hit that sub button, give us a like on this video, and play some trivia with us. You still got a chance to win some points, Chris. Caleb Hunt, just looking through, last week at Las Vegas, 2nd place finish. Martinsville the week before finished 5th. Circuit of the Americas finished 7th. Old boy's been working it here in that number 78. Not only a good-looking scheme, but a fast car for the past month or so.
Yeah, Mr. Consistency for sure. He's been on it. You haven't seen a lot of mistakes out of the driver of the 78, so very consistent last few races for Caleb Hunt. Not surprised at all to see him up here near the front of this field tonight. With everything going on, if he can stay out of trouble, might find himself up there contending for the win by the end of the night.
Yeah, I thought he might have had an opportunity to do it at Vegas. Now, hey, speaking of Vegas, I got to sit back and watch that race. I was out of town. Shout out to you as well as Sky Shrek for doing an amazing job in that broadcast. Sky did a great job filling in. Very grateful for Sky filling in, and just a great call. You're going to be seeing more of Sky here on Slingshot Racing Media here in the next couple of months for a couple more series that we're broadcasting. So shout out to Sky. Look forward to having him back in the booth eventually. Right now, Caleb Hunt is the inside car, 2nd place. The number 8 of Adam Holston gets off the line from the lead. Chris, that outside line seems to have an early on advantage, at least in the first couple laps of a run. That's what I'm noticing from Adam Holston here. Evan Janik on the outside in 2nd place. Meanwhile, Cody Giles loose off the corner. Can Giles save it? My goodness, as he worked his way towards 30, almost did it again. Oops, I did it again. We almost heard him singing that song here on the front straightaway at Bristol, Chris. These cars are loose. I can't say that enough.
Yeah, it's just super, super edgy, and it just seems like the line is super, super tight as far as, how much wheel you can feed it from the center off, and you got to do a really good job of counter steering as you come up off the corner. And some of these drivers right here, man, they are working hard and trying to make sure they don't overcorrect.
Yeah, and it is difficult because once you turn that wheel one way, the wrong way, it's hard to say that we've seen that happen a couple times tonight. Single file amongst the top 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Really got to go all the way back, I believe, to the 13th position to find a battle for position. That is no longer a battle for position. Jewett getting by Reggie Kime there, who's struggling with a ill-handling race car right now. Everyone's looking like they're, for the most part, single file, but there's this battle going on for the lead, amongst other things. Evan Janik trying to challenge Adam Holston for the lead there on the inside. Holston, the purple and white car.
Yeah, Dallas, right here, Evan Janik does have about 20 lap fresher tires than Adam Holston does. Now, a lot of those are under caution, so the speed difference isn't huge like we typically see here. Jackson Atala back here behind Evan Janik has a little bit fresher tires than Janik does, so got some guys with fresh tires trying to come up here and maybe battle it out for the stage win.
Yeah, Hatala's been impressive all night long. After starting in the 9th position, he's climbed to 3rd. Top 5 early. Hatala working that inside line with some speed and confidence there, closing on Janik. And this battle between Holston and Janik has allowed Hatala to slip in there in that orange 09 machine. Cody Giles, if they're not careful, is going to get back into this battle with that loose handling race car. Saw him clip the wall just a little bit. But this is a battle for the lead, Chris, and this is 5 laps left in this stage. Janik is going to want more stage points along with Holston and Hatala. Hatala now to the outside, pulling a move out of Evan Janik's playbook to see if he can make the pass on Janik. The student is now the teacher as Hatala goes by on the outside in that 09, now working on Holston to see if he can't walk away with a stage win with just 4 laps left in stage number 2.
Yeah, right here, very impressive move right there as he was just able to put that front bumper right behind Evan Holston right there and sort of utilize the momentum of that top lane. You see them working their way around Reggie Kime right here, and here comes Hatala to the inside.
Atala to the inside as Holston climbs the banking. They work their way down the front straightaway with just a few more laps left before the stage 2 caution puts us under caution once more. Holston to the outside, Hatala to the inside. How close can he get it to that yellow line and not slide up the track? Has to lift off the throttle to avoid hitting the left rear of that number 8, Chris. Just 2 laps left in stage number 2. They go down the back straightaway. Holston, last week's Vegas winner, climbs the banking. They're going to be coming up on Jewett, the lap car. Will traffic play a factor here? Can Hatala maybe use that 45 as a pick? As we get ready to come, here we go, the 45. Now to the inside, Hatala tries to make a move for the stage 2 victory. Holston's got the spot on the outside, though. Hatala might have one more shot. I believe this should put us under caution here. There it is, stage 2 in the books. Your top 5, Holston, Hatala, Janik, Giles, and Berardi in that 05 rounds out your stage point finishers for stage number 2. Got some Hatala fans and some Berardi fans in the chat right now. Poor Steve Gilly says, I'm back here again after that wreck just a little while ago, Steve. Man, hey, we appreciate you joining us even though it's not under the best circumstances tonight. Chris, we're going to see some pit stops here.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And we saw right there Adam Holston on those older tires. You could really see how he was able to hold off the fresh tires right there of Jackson Hatala on the outside lane. Very difficult to complete that pass, especially when that driver in front of you is fast and can use the momentum of the top lane. So, sort of keep our eye on here in the closing laps of this race.
I'm seeing some Hatala fans in the chat right now. Tuckman VR and Aiden Tebow rooting on Hatala. Got some Caleb Hunt fans as well. Adam Holston, you mentioned, going to bring it down pit road here. Probably going to put a fresh set of tires and bring the rest of the leaders with him down this double pit road. They're going to have to make their way down the backstretch before they come to the attention of their crews on the front stretch. And Chris, with just 65 laps left in this race, probably once we get underway green, those are going to go by really quickly. So position here on the exit of this pit stop is going to be massively important, because if you lose any, you're going to get them back on the track likely. And if you gain any, hey, shout out to the pit crew because they might have won you the race here.
Yeah, definitely. And this is a very, very important, very critical pit stop of this race right here. Yeah, we'll have to see how the cautions fall, if there will be more pit stops. I don't think we're done with cautions, Ellis. I don't know about you, but I think that we'll probably go see some more.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good assessment if I had to guess. I think we're probably going to see at least one more. We got 2 more trivia questions, which we'll get to. I think we're going to have more cautions to probably deal with that, though. So 2 more trivia questions coming up. 4-way tie for the lead. So even if you haven't played any of the trivia questions yet, you still got a chance to get in there and win that Josh Berry diecast that we're giving away. Race off of pit road. Holston's going to win it. Evan Janik is going to be third. Cody Giles is going to come out third with Hatala slipping back to ninth. Chris, I think I'm looking at it. I feel like the biggest loser based on the telemetry I'm seeing is Hatala losing those 2 spots on pit road. He's going to have to get them back here, potentially under green flag conditions. Definitely tougher to get him back on the track than on pit road.
Yeah, and with everybody on equal tires now here with the stage break, that makes passing a little bit more difficult here. So yeah, that is, you know, those are some positions he probably wants to have back. But the good news is, got a lot of laps to go here, and there is definitely, like we mentioned, the likelihood of more yellow flags to bunch the field back up.
Chris, Adam Holston is currently your leader. He's a former MRL Rookie of the Year. And he's also a concrete worker by day. And right now he's tough as some concrete. Hey, how ironic would it be if he won at a concrete racetrack?
That would be very fitting, very fitting. And I wouldn't be surprised at all to see it happen.
No, he might go very well back-to-back here. Not only do that, but also win the Dash for Cash and that $20 cold hard cash prize.
Yeah, very, very speedy all night tonight.
Going to be having 65 laps left, getting ready for a restart. Drivers working their way around, getting ready to take the choose cone, and one car blinking out, kind of looking like he's having some connection issues up there right now, getting his lap back. Several cars taking the wave around, including Zach White. Amen. That 77's seen better times tonight, but he is out there still running, just trying to get those points. And right now, that 77, despite having some early trouble, still in 17th, top 20 going. Holston's going to take the outside, Chris. Cody Giles to the inside. This is kind of where we've seen Cody Giles really excel after starting on the pole. Didn't see him really put a foot wrong until he went to the top, and Janik threw him for a loop just a little bit. And we've seen that 48 really loose up top, far more comfortable to the inside here. As we get ready, pace car is going to peel off. Adam Holston going to be the control car in that blue Geico restart zone. Goes about halfway through. We're back underway for stage number 3, the final stage, the Dash for Cash, the Dash for the win. Holston is one of those drivers looking for the money and the win tonight. Back-to-back would be nice for Holston. Janik to the outside. One car sideways. But sideways, 3 cars around, really loose up top. Synchronized spins for Janik. That's also Hatala. Several cars, Chris, that were in contention tonight, having trouble here on lap 119 of 180. Let's see if we can't find out what happened there.
Man, how wild was that, Ellis? Yeah, we'll go back and watch this. I think that, Janik was the first one we saw around right here, but Hatala right behind him also went around. Yeah, watch these cars off of the corner right here. They spin together. The 6 right here, I saw, Ronnie Foster tag the 09 right there of Hatala.
Yeah, Hatala's going to have some damage from that 6 car. Just kind of, things happen fast. We talk about, hey, why didn't he slow down? Well, it's a narrow and a short front straightaway. So,
yeah, man,
the loose race cars strike again. Synchronized spins for the 71 and the 19 there with the 09 there. Going to put us under caution. Holston and Giles walk away. Chris, Brett Wren, our heart rate monitor wearer tonight, is in 3rd place. Where the heck did he come from? I think he might have taken 2 tires on that last pit stop if I'm looking at my data correctly.
Yeah, it definitely looks like he might have right there. He's got a really good shot right there of those drivers sliding sideways. It looked like the 78 possibly involved in this deal as well. Caleb Hunt, saw him spinning around. The 92 of Pollock. I'm going to go back and see if these drivers spun because of contact. No, got loose as well. Yeah, I'm going to see exact same thing. So, yeah, and it looks like Pollock, he went around because of contact with the 78.
Lots of contact tonight. Hey, let's get one more trivia question here so we can get these out of the way before we hit that final mad dash for the victory, Chris. If you haven't got a trivia point yet, you haven't played yet, you still got plenty of time to get on there. Actually, the light's off on the pace car.
They are.
I think they might be. Yeah, let's hold tight on that. We got some racing to do, folks. That was a quick caution. The 48 of Giles on the inside. Your leader, Adam Holston, is going to be working the outside. This is a same song, 2nd or 3rd verse here over the past 15 laps. We've seen Giles and Holston do duel. 2 new cars, though, really in the top 4. Gavin Henson and Brett Wren. Wren on the outside in that green and white number 24. Meanwhile, the Sundrop colors for the number 39 of Gavin Henson. A bit of a Dale Jr. throwback scheme there. Pace car peels off Holston with a nice jump towards the end of the restart zone. Jousting inside, Brett Wren looking to see if he can't work that top as he climbs the banking. Not going to have anything for Giles here. He falls back into the clutches of Berardi and Gavin Henson. Chris, I'm showing a black flag for Berardi.
Well, I think that Ellis, that's part of the, the choose, the drivers, maybe
Okay.
not. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that might be part of that. So, at least we're going to hope that's what that is.
We're going to hope that several, they've all been cleared. Those were all from the choose rule. One car loose, Berardi loose off of the wall there. One car, Brett Wren into the wall. That heart rate reflects that up at the top right of your screen. Holston right now working that middle groove with Cody Giles. Holston are not too far behind him. Gavin Henson started 12th, and he's up to 3rd position. That is a great run going for that 39 tonight of Henson. Great paint scheme. I love that Dale Jr. throwback paint schemes. Try to get shirts of every single one of those when they come out. I definitely have one of those Sundrop ones.
Yeah, Ellis, have you ever had cherry Sundrop?
I have not. Is it worth it?
Yeah, I would definitely try it. It's very, very good. Highly recommended.
All right, well, I will have to try it. Hey, I'll do this. If Gavin Henson pulls off the win tonight, I'll go out and get a cherry Sundrop tomorrow and let you know what I think. Evan Janik working the back bumper of that number 39. About 4 car lengths back for Janik. He's your points leader. He won at Coda. Looking to see if he can get another win here tonight at Bristol. He's got 4 positions to make up if he's going to do so. Meanwhile, we watch a great battle going on between Brandon Berardi and Caleb Hunt. Berardi in that 05 to the outside with the Twitch purple monster behind him. Close contact. They're almost a near spin for both of those cars as they switch lines. Caleb Hunt now to the inside in that number 78. That 78, Chris, I think he might be the car to watch tonight. I'm looking at him.
Ooh.
Maybe not the most consistent, but if he's there at the end, I think that 78 is going to go for it.
Yeah, and we see him. He's able to roll the bottom pretty well right there. But you see Brandon Berardi not making any mistakes up there on that top lane. And that's kind of what I mentioned before, Ellis. It's really hard to complete that pass if that driver is, just not making any mistakes. If they're rolling consistently on the top, it doesn't matter how well you're getting around the bottom. It's just hard to, complete that pass unless you get a lot of laps on these tires.
Incredibly difficult to watch Gavin Henson try to work his way around the outside of Evan Janik here. Janik has been comfortable up top much of the evening, but he tries the inside and will continue to roll now towards the middle of the track as he diamonds it, arcs it down there to the exit down on the inside. He gets by, holds off Henson at least for the next lap or so in that number 39. Drivers finally getting in a little bit of a rhythm with just 46 laps left on the evening. They're going to tick by quickly, folks, as we watch this battle going on between the 71 and the 39 Sundrop car. Battle for the lead, Chris, has tightened up just a little bit. Lap traffic of Reggie Kine might be playing a little bit of a role in that. Adam Holston now just about 4 or 5 car lengths out in front of that blue and silver machine 48 of Cody Giles in his first race here with Mystic Racing League and the Fall Creek Plumbing Grand National Series. 2 different lines. I hear a little bit of collision between someone. 2 different lines being worked by the leader and second place. And, heavy contact somewhere. I don't know who that is. You hear that noise? Is that just my imagination?
Yeah, I think there's some contact into the wall, and as high as these drivers are running on the track, I'm not surprised at all that there is a little bit of contact going on with the wall. Cody Giles, it's the 10, actually in front of the leaders right here. That's Joshua Gillen. That was a little bit dicey.
Gillen with an ill-handling race car into the wall right in front of the leaders. Lap 138 of 180
and
coming
Ellis,
up on 41 laps to go. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was just going to say Brandon Berardi. I saw him to the inside. I think that might have been the contact that you heard. He currently has a meatball, and I believe he is on pit road.
And no caution has come out either for the machine of Brandon Berardi. Not sure what happened there. Not sure. It might have been an engine problem. I saw him struggling down the front straightaway. I think he might have missed a gear or popped out or something because that thing blew up and just ground to a halt.
He did have some front end damage also, so I don't know if maybe that previous damage possibly, resulted in that.
Well, either way, one of the fastest cars on the evening, running the top 5, struggling out of the race before its conclusion tonight, watching a continued battle for the lead. Chris, let's go ahead and throw. Oh, he did blow up. We have confirmation for Aiden Tebow that 09 did have an expired motor. He overheated. Not sure.
Yeah.
Wonder if that was caused by some damage, potentially.
Let's, it wouldn't surprise me.
Let's run trivia question number 3 at the bottom of the screen. If you haven't played yet, it's a 4-way tie. You still got a chance to bring home that Josh Berry diecast Bristol-themed trivia tonight. Which major highway runs through Bristol, connecting it to other parts of the country? Is it Interstate 81, Interstate 40, Interstate 75, or I-95? Which major highway runs through Bristol, connecting it to other parts of the country? Go ahead and put in your answers into the chat. It's a 4-way tie right now atop the leaderboard. Meanwhile, the battle for the lead continues to pulse on here. Just about 4 car lengths has been the distance separating Holston from Cody Giles for the past 10 laps or so. They work their way through traffic. Oh, we might have had one little issue there with the trivia question. You got 3 options to choose from. Choose one of those 3. Give us the number, 75, 81, or 40. Please put your number. Please put the number, 75, 81, or 40. Chris Holston coming up on Brett Wren here. He's been fast all night long, but now going a lap down the leader. It allows Cody Giles to sneak right up to the back bumper. To the inside is that 48 going to duck a nose and make a move for the lead. They're trying to reclaim it after starting on the pole tonight. They're also going to have Christian Barnes not too far in front of them at about 8 car lengths in front. Cody Giles trying to maybe use up every inch of the racetrack and every car on the racetrack here as a pick to try to get by Holston. Looks like Giles has the faster car for the moment on the inside. Giles to the lead, but Holston's going to pull him to the outside. Dead heat across the finish line towards the turn 1 and 2. Holston loses that spot. Can he capitalize on that outside line and hang in there? Chris, how difficult is it to get by somebody if they're running you on that outside line?
Very difficult, but I don't think I've seen anybody roll the bottom tonight better than Cody Giles has. He's been committed to it, and look at him right here complete the pass on Adam Holston. I think that we're also seeing the fact that this is probably the longest green flag run that we've had tonight. I think we're seeing being committed to that bottom lane be a little bit better on the tires, possibly, over the course of these longer runs. I
think you were seeing the fruit of Cody Giles' labor, working that yellow line, coming up on the number 7 right now of Malcolm Capo, who had a fast car early in the race but lost control off of turn number 4. Giles now in control. Race number 1 for Giles of MRL, looking to collect win number 1 here in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. And that 48, Chris, based on the time, he is the fastest car on the track. Janik, actually, I should say, is a little bit faster, but he's about 15 car lengths back, almost a full straightaway back from Cody Giles. He's going to have some help, possibly from a caution or some severe lap traffic, but Giles clears 2 of his obstacles in Christian Barnes and Malcolm Capo, and now Holston's still trying to work his way by Barnes here if he's going to have any chance, but Chris, that 48 looks like it's on rails when it matters.
It definitely does, and yeah, he's been fast all night. We saw him lose a little bit of track position earlier in the race, but he has been steady, been calm, cool, and collected. And yeah, I don't believe I've seen anybody roll the bottom better than him all night long. So not surprised at all to see this thing go green, to see him pull out to the lead that he has at this point.
Yeah, he's doing a heck of a job right now. Looking further through the field, Chris, really Evan Janik's in third, about 8 car lengths back from second place. Alex Pollock, great run going for the driver of that number 92 right now in 4th position. Pollock really had trouble. I told you he had 2 of the most gentle crashes I've seen so far tonight in that number 92. And this might make sense. His spirit animal, he says, is an elephant. Strong, loyal, and smart, and there also can be very gentle. So,
and he never
living out
forgets
that
either.
spirit animal life. No, he never forgets either, as does Jimmy Spencer never forgets as well.
That's right,
so,
yeah.
That 92, what do we got on that car? What is that? Red gold?
Red gold tomatoes.
Red gold tomatoes. You a big tomato fan?
Yeah, I like tomatoes. I think that if you don't like tomatoes, it's probably because you haven't been eating the right ones.
What are the right ones? Enlighten me.
The right ones are the ones that are grown in your backyard.
Yeah, have you grown tomatoes in your backyard?
I can't say that I personally have. My grandparents did, though, and if you have freshly grown tomatoes, you will become a fan of tomatoes.
All right, well, maybe I'm going to have to get me some freshly grown tomatoes. I had to get them because there's no way I'm growing them in my backyard. But, hey, that red gold tomatoes car sitting in 4th position, looking golden tonight. Top 5 going for Alex Pollock. Gavin Henson not too far behind him in that 39 Sun Drop machine. Derek Jewett, Chris, that's been a car. 45's had some adventures going all night long as he works his way into the lap car of Reggie Kime. But he's managed to get it back up to 6th position tonight. Jewett, he's had speed, but I feel like he's had a bout of bad luck in the past several weeks. Just looking through his finishes. He did finish, I'm looking at his last couple finishes here, 17th at Las Vegas, 14th at Martinsville, 10th at COTA. So really on a string of finishes I think he would prefer to have done better. But he's had speed at all of those tracks. He just hasn't closed the deal. Tonight, looking like the 45 is potentially going to close the deal.
Oh, as Brett Wren gets loose right in front of him, Wren's going to save it. And
Save it almost at the cones.
Yeah, Derek Jewett, Ellis, is the last car on the lead lap in the 6th position. Great recovery, persevering night for him right here, but he is going to go a lap down to the leader right here, Cody Giles. That puts just 5 cars on the lead lap.
Cody Giles, the leader of those 5 cars. The Pied Piper of the field right now is that 48 with just 14 laps remaining. Cody Giles doing it in style tonight in that Jimmy Johnson paint scheme. Dominant like Jimmy here so far after starting in the pole. Had a little bit of, gave everyone else a chance over the course of the mid portion of the race, and that 48 has come on strong here in the final closing laps. One car keeping an eye on, Chris. The only car that's been able to keep pace really with the 48 is 71 of Evan Janik. Your points leader looking to maybe get back into victory lane tonight, but he's got some work cut out for him as he falls back just a little bit. I think it's going to require a caution with just 12 laps left on the evening. Just looking through the rest of the field, Derek Jewett, good little battle going on, trying to get the top 5 right now. Gavin Henson trying to hold off Jewett, but doesn't have anything for the driver of that number 45. He almost comes down across the nose of Joshua Gillen. Boy, how would you like to dunk an Oreo in a case of Sun Drop or a can of Sun Drop?
Yeah, not a fan.
Gary Sun Drop?
Not a fan. No, that's not going to happen.
Well, we got some folks in the chat right now. Chutman VR is rooting on. He's saying go. I'm not sure who he's saying go to, who they're saying go to, but maybe rooting on Cody Giles right now in that 48 machine. Just put Derek Jewett a lap down. So now, Chris, only 4 cars on the lead lap, and that is the tendency with a long green flag run at Bristol, which we've seen here in the final portion of the race. Just 8 laps left. Working lap 173 of 80. Top 5 are Giles, Janik, Holston, Pollock, and Jewett. So pending some sort of caution and last lap melee, Holston's not going to go back-to-back tonight. Currently, your Dash for Cash leader is Evan Janik in that 71. Evan Janik, Adam Holston trying to do something with him, about a second and a half back from Janik. Holston wants that $20, and he might have a shot at Janik if he gets the speed up here in the final 5 laps or so. But Evan Janik looking like he's going to capitalize and take home a $20 bonus tonight after a top 4 run last week at Las Vegas. Looking through the rest of the field, Chris, Joshua Gillen, tough start to the race. A couple black flags and involved in a few melees, is running 12th right now on that number 10. A good-looking paint scheme, I might add. I think one of my favorite paint schemes of all time. That Oreo Dale Jr. throwback scheme for Joshua Gillen tonight.
Yeah, it's a good-looking ride right here, and yeah, he is persevering right here just outside the top 10, hoping to make it to the end of this thing. I think a lot of these drivers are just hoping to get to the final 3 laps of this thing as quickly as they can. Cody Giles, is probably got his fingers and his toes crossed right here. It's like, please just stay clean and green to the end of this thing.
Cody Giles just a lap and a half away. Hey, final trivia question coming up after the race is over. In post-race, stick around. We got a 2-way tie for the diecast for Josh Berry coming up to the white flag here. Cody Giles, if he makes it to the white flag in half a lap, it is over in terms of a caution flag will not end the race. They will race back. Giles now just has to get it around one more time in his debut here for the Mystic Racing League in the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. Half a lap away from Giles in that 48 machine. Blue and silver is going to come home the winner tonight. He wins the gold in that 48. Cody Giles brings it home for the win at Bristol. Evan Janik is second. Adam Holston is going to finish third in that number 8. Boy, put on a clinic tonight in the final portions of that race after starting on the pole, able to get back towards the front. And Chris, you mentioned it earlier. I think he won the race on his tire saving.
Yeah, I think so. I think that this thing going green to the end and him being committed to that bottom lane, that's what put him at that advantage right there. And look at the advantage that he pulled in those final laps, Ellis. Almost 7 seconds over second place Evan Janik right there.
That long run definitely worked in his favor for the 48. Hey, let's not leave the fans waiting. Let's do, before we hear from the drivers in post-race, before we hear from your top 3, let's do that last trivia question. Right now, it's a 2-way tie between Connor Lyons and Aiden Tebow for this diecast. Final question coming up. What is the name of the famous Bristol sign that welcomes visitors? Is it the Gateway to the South, Welcome to Bristol, Twin City Lights, or A Good Place to Live? What does that sign say? That famous Bristol sign that welcomes visitors to the town. What does it say? We're going to leave that up on the screen for another minute or two. You can see the leaderboard. It hasn't updated. I will say that Connor Lyons and Aiden Tebow are atop the leaderboard with 2 points apiece. So one of those two drivers is likely going to win. If they don't get it, though, and you got 1 point, you can still get in there and make it a 3- or 4-way tie, in which we'll draw a random winner from that. So while you're working on that, we're going to work on getting in Adam Holston, your third-place finisher, into the chat. Let's see if we can't get old Adam Holston, last week's winner at Vegas, finishes third tonight into the Slingshot booth. Adam Holston, it's Ellis and Chris in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, good job. I know it's not the back-to-back victory you wanted tonight. I know it's not the Dash for Cash win you wanted tonight, but in terms of points, you can't ask for much of a better night, especially after your win last week at Vegas. How tough was it out there tonight? We saw some loose race cars.
Yeah, it was pretty loose on the early run, but really once you got some heat in it, it started to tighten up through the longer run, and as you've seen in the last stage there, I didn't really manage my tires too good and couldn't really get it to turn for the last 20 laps or so.
You kind of answered my question, man. I was going to ask what you felt like was the biggest difference maker. We saw Cody Giles in that 48 really pull away towards the front, further away from you as that run went on. And you mentioned you really struggled with the tires at the end of the race. How much of that do you think had to do with running the high line while Giles was swinging it down low much of the evening?
Yeah, I think that might have came into play. I didn't have too much practice on the low line. I kind of struggled down there to begin with. So I just stuck with the high line, what was working for me. And, I wasn't really expecting a green flag run like that after, what I seen throughout the whole race. But, it happens. I'll just have to get them next time.
Yeah, man, I don't think any of us saw that coming in terms of the long green flag run. But, hey, you held on. You did a good job. You got that third-place finish tonight after a win last week at Vegas. And I didn't get to talk to you last week at Vegas. Congratulations on that first win of the season. Before we let you go, you got any shout-outs?
Yeah, I'll shout out my team at 5-Star Racing, 9222 Designs, Fall Creek Plumbing for sponsoring the series, and I'll shout out Holston Concrete and Workboat Life.
Awesome, man. Congrats on that third-place finish. We'll let you go celebrate.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, we're going to try to maybe move him back to the waiting room. All right. Watching him roll around, Chris, we still got that trivia up on the board. We'll go ahead and show the answer to that. What is the name of the famous Bristol sign that welcomes visitors? The correct answer is A Good Place to Live. A Good Place to live. We're going to go ahead and give that point to Tuckman VR and Aiden Tebow for their correct answers. And that's going to put Aiden Tebow, I believe, as the winner tonight. We'll put Aiden Tebow as the winner tonight. And Chris, I don't know if when I update it or not, it is going to potentially give the correct winner.
Okay.
But Aiden is the winner. Aiden Tebow is the winner. You can go ahead and reveal the winner graphic, Chris, so he knows where to email us at. The winner should email us at ssracingleagues@gmail.com. That's going to appear on the screen momentarily. If it says Aaron won, don't worry about it. Aiden, you're a winner in our heart. You won the trivia tonight. We'll send that Josh Berry diecast to you. Now let's go ahead and hear from Evan Janik, points leader and the runner-up this week at Bristol. Chris, I'll let you take it away from here.
Evan Janik, our second place finisher tonight. This is Slingshot Booth. You got a copy?
Yep, got you guys.
Man, Evan, we saw you recover tonight. We saw you sideways at one point on the front stretch there with a lot of other drivers as well. Seemed like the conditions out there were super treacherous, especially early in the stint. Was it as loose from your perspective as it seemed from ours from up here in the booth?
Yeah, cold tires, you always have to watch it. But I was just never in that position all race, so I just got caught off guard and ended up looping it. But overall, from practice to the race, the track tightened up a lot, so I was very surprised.
Yeah, it seemed like it definitely did as the run went on right there, and we saw you guys have a nice little solid green flag run there to the end. We saw you get that spot for second right there, passing the number 8 of Adam Holston. What more did you need to possibly run with the 48 right there, Cody Giles, and contend for the win?
Not spin out and kill my tires. That and lap cars too. They didn't do anything wrong. I just caught them at just horrible times every single time. I didn't get lucky once. So, like I said in the beginning of the race, I needed to get lucky along with good fortune or good race on my end. So, both of those didn't turn out as good as I hoped, but still second. Grow my point lead a little bit. Just still a good day.
Yeah, definitely a solid night for you, and you survived all the mayhem out there tonight for sure. Next week we head
Won
to
a little bit of cash too.
That's right. Yeah, getting a little bit of cash as well. That's awesome for you. Next week we head to Talladega Super Speedway, researcher plate racing, or Super Speedway racing, I should say these days. Is that something that you're looking forward to, or do you kind of dread going there?
It depends. I do enjoy them. If the guys can race really good. I was not here for the 500. That's the only race I didn't make this year. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I didn't have. I wasn't in this team for Daytona or Atlanta. So doing it with a team, I'm sure will be a lot more enjoyable than doing it just by myself.
Absolutely, as you get that drafting help from your partners and teammates. We're looking forward to seeing you hit the high banks at Talladega next week. Before we let you go celebrate the second place finish, you got any shout outs?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun droning the Fall Creek Plumbing NASCAR series here tonight. Thank you to 5 Star Racing for bringing me aboard. Thank you to 9222 Designs for making all my paints. And thank you to Super Oil Pros for sponsoring my car here and in real life.
All right, that's Evan Janik, our second place finisher tonight. Congratulations, bud. Great run.
Thank you.
All right, that was Evan Janik. Now let's hear from Cody Giles, tonight's winner. Cody Giles, driver number 48. It's Ellis and Chris in the Slingshot booth. You got a copy, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, first time out there. Congratulations. Put on a hell of a show from the beginning. Started on the pole. You had speed all evening long. I want to jump back towards the beginning of the race, though, and probably a moment that you thought maybe you were going to be out of it. You went to the high line for the first time. I believe the 71 of Janet kind of threw it to the inside and kind of switched lanes, both of you, and you got loose and almost lost off the corner. Walk us through what was going on in your head at that moment.
Yeah, I was hoping y'all would catch that on broadcast.
Oh, we caught it.
It was an experience for me. Early on in the race, I was just around the bottom, and I saw everybody go to the top, and I was like, well, hopefully, I get to the top. I could probably find some speed there. I mean, there was speed on the bottom. It was just like kind of like a neck and neck thing, coming off the corner, the top's better. So I went to the top going into 3, and kind of stepped on it a little bit too much, and it kind of yawed out the rear end, and all I saw was the inside wall. And luckily, we saved it there, and there was no damage or anything like that. So it was kind of a moment where I was like, well, I mean, I had one fast repair, but I didn't want to use it that early. But yeah, it was a moment there where I was like, oh man, here we go.
Well, man, as the kids say, you locked in and you buckled down and you held on and you went for it. And man, the tire saving, walk me through that, because we feel like, that was the big difference maker. None of us probably expected a long green flag run towards the end of the race, but we got it, and I feel like your tire management probably had something to do with you ending up in victory lane. Was that kind of going through your mind? Was it intentional that you thought by running low you were going to be saving tires?
Absolutely. I mean, the whole entire time. I mean, stage 1 and 2, I kind of would save a little bit. I mean, even though it wasn't really necessary. Yeah, the final stage is probably what matters the most. Especially for a part-timer. So, but through the last 40 some laps, I mean, I knew I couldn't beat Evan and Adam on short run or middle run. They were just fast. Like, those two guys were really fast, really quick on the top, and just could make it work. So, the last ditch effort would have been, saving tire there, last 40, 30 to go. But that was pretty much the strategy. I mean, it was a Hail Mary at that point. I mean, I didn't know that I was 50-50. I was like, well, we've been having cautions lately. Caution may come out with about 20 to go, 15 to go, maybe. But in the end, I mean, it worked. It was just kind of a last-ditch effort, because I just did not have the short run speed there at the beginning and kind of halfway through the race. But that last stage, I was just like, okay, well, we'll just kind of save tire on the bottom, and maybe that'll be the difference maker between, me and Adam. And it did.
Well, man, you did a hell of a job. Hey, Chris, did you have any questions for Cody before we let him go celebrate?
I guess I had a question about that Jimmy Johnson paint scheme. You big Jimmy Johnson fan?
Yeah. Growing up as a kid, man, Jimmy Jam, he 7-time champ. Growing up seeing him and Chad Canal, it's crazy enough. I don't like talking about this, but about a couple years ago, I was in the pro league stuff for the Heat. We don't talk about that, but when I went down to Charlotte for the finale for season 1, I actually got to meet Chad. Chad was kind of like the big all-time hero for me as a kid, because of him and Jimmy's connection. It was like Shaq and Kobe kind of, So yeah, Jimmy Johnson, man, I've always been a huge fan of Jimmy when I was a little kid growing up in elementary.
Man, you would have made Jimmy proud out there tonight with that run you had at Bristol. Congrats. Before we let you go celebrate that win, any shout-outs?
Yeah, man. Head Candy, 1776 Motorsports, Veer. Let's see. I'm not really good at this. It's been a minute. Let's see. Fort Worth Screen Printing, Oot Renovations. I mean, pretty much that's it. I appreciate you guys broadcasting tonight. Y'all did a hell of a job. So thank you for y'all's time.
Hey, man, we appreciate you. Are we going to see you in Talladega next week?
Going to try to be at Talladega.
Awesome, man. Well, we will see you there. Have a good one.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
Absolutely. All right, man. So Cody Giles is your winner tonight. Before we went off there, we did want to give a quick shout out to David Wallace. He's been racing with Mystic Racing League since 2020. He's been racing with us this season. Not here tonight. Unfortunately, struggling. His grandmother is struggling with her help, and he's off with her. So we wish them the best of health and the best of time, and just hope that David Wallace enjoyed watching the race tonight if you had a chance. But a shout out to David if he watches the replay later on, and Best wishes to you and your family right now in that tough time, David. So, Chris, we're headed to Talladega next week. And boy, we had a time ourselves at Talladega last night. I didn't want to hear the words Talladega again for another couple weeks, but it is inevitable as the Mystic Racing League Fall Creek Plumbing National Series rolls into the Super Speedway in Middle Alabama next week. Chris, what are we going to expect to see that's going to be different from tonight? I suspect we'll see some crashes just like we did tonight, though.
Yeah, we'll probably definitely see some crashes. Wouldn't be a bit surprised at all to see that, Ellis. But yeah, I suspect that we'll see some 2 and 3 wide racing. It'll be a little bit faster than what you saw tonight. A little bit higher speeds. We've seen these drivers run, super speedway races so far this season. This will be their 3rd one this season, Ellis. We weren't at the Daytona race, so yeah, I'm going to be curious to see, some of the team alignments. That's the thing that I'm probably most looking forward to, seeing how some of these drivers that are on the same teams work together, type of strategies they utilize to try to maintain their track position up at the front of the packs. And who's going to bring home the checkered flag? Is it going to be an opportunity race for somebody maybe who hasn't won one yet this season, or are we going to see one of these familiar faces back in victory lane?
I think it's going to be fun to watch either way. Make sure you tune in, same time, same channel next week. But before we go, you probably noticed a different series logo on the top right of the screen. It's no longer just the MRL Xfinity series. It's the Fall Creek Plumbing National Series. Quick word about them. Fall Creek Plumbing's your trusted plumbing expert serving all of central Indiana. Fall Creek Plumbing is a small family-owned business located in Pendleton, dedicated to providing reliable and professional, which you don't find as much anymore, plumbing solutions. Whether it's a leak under your concrete slab, that is nightmare fuel for homeowners. Water heater troubles, also nightmare fuel for homeowners. Or just general plumbing repairs, Fall Creek Plumbing has you covered. Get in touch with them if you live in that Indiana area and you need some work done. I know I don't trust myself to change a toilet. Had to call a plumber. It's something everyone needs. So Fall Creek Plumbing has you covered if you live up in the Midwest in that Indiana area. Chris, we're headed on to Talladega next week. It's a home track for you. It's a home track for Joshua Gillen. He's talking in the chat. He's looking forward to it. He might be one of those guys that is a dark horse we see running up there at the front next week. We'll see you then, folks. Have a lovely evening. Have a lovely week. For the Slingshot Racing Media booth and Mystic Racing League, this has been Ellis Thomas and Chris Smith. Folks, we will catch you next week in Talladega. So long for now. Bye-bye.